few things that I am incredibly excited about when it comes to Bedankt. The first things first is that Bedankt is registered here in the US. And, I always say documentation beats conversation. It's something that we say a whole lot inside of this industry. But when I go ahead, and this is a Delaware entity search, okay? You could do this on any computer you want. Just go to Google, search up Delaware entity search, and you will see Delawaregov. This is a U.S. government website, and here goes Bedankt.inc right there. And you can see here's the file number, Bedankt.inc. It's registered here in the U.S., etc., etc. And then we have another thing. It's FinCEN.gov, okay, and this is called a money service business license. And when I go ahead and I search up Bedankt over here, um, you will see that we are registered to go ahead and do money service businesses in every single state. Every single state, which means that we could actually register for certain licenses to do the trading that we are doing. And that becomes incredibly important as we take a look at what Bedankt is doing. In particular, the DaemonX chip and bot. And I want to be very, very clear that, it is a combination of of both a chip and a bot. And why is this important? It is important because when you take a look at using artificial intelligence to go ahead and grow and grow a company or grow a trading account, it is imperative to understand that it's going to use a tremendous amount of processing power. And so what has been done in the background is a specific chip that is going to leverage the use of this AI is in place, and that's what allows us to go ahead and move as quickly as we do in and out of the markets. And it is a combination of artificial intelligence, human interaction, and it is trading both the cryptocurrency and the forex markets. If you haven't been on one of these Zooms before, I should go ahead and allow you guys to know that what I do not do is I do not sit there and go through all the text on the slides because I think that you're smart enough to read it, and I believe that this is downloadable on the Bedankt website anyway. Okay, so let's continue on just so we go through this and understand that I already said this. It is a combination of both the chip and the bot. So here's how it works. It monitors real-time data. It processes high frequency orders, and it adapts to strategies on the fly. Now, there are multiple strategies that could be used. I know that we have a dollar cost averaging strategy, which means that as if we are in a trade going long, meaning that we believe that a cryptocurrency is going to raise in price, but it actually goes against us, that we will dollar cost average, meaning we will grab positions as it goes down in price, so that when it goes up in price, we enter into profit a lot more aggressively. There is a hedging strategy that is in play. This means that if, say, we are in a sell, we are shorting the market, and then, it actually goes up, well, then we might buy the market in order to create a situation where we mitigate our losses in order to make sure that it doesn't go against us anymore until the bot is confident that we are entering a new trend, and then all of a sudden it is going to go ahead and continue to DCA out. And then on top of all of this, we have the arbitrage bot also working for our profits, and we're going to go over exactly what arbitrage looks like. Okay, it is a multi-exchange strategy. This means that we are able to trade on multiple exchanges simultaneously, and this becomes incredibly important when doing arbitrage. And in order to understand what arbitrage is, I'm actually going to go to CoinMarketCap. Now, CoinMarketCap, if you guys know anything about cryptocurrency, you know that CoinMarketCap is where it is at. Like every single coin on coin market cap in the crypto markets that is legitimate, that has already been proven, or and meets certain criteria, ladies and gentlemen, that's all here. And oh my goodness, Uniswap went up by 16% today. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick SAN. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the markets. Now I'm going to try to explain arbitrage the best way possible. Okay, the best way possible. Right now, the aggregate price is 2977, 29, just almost 30 cents. Okay, so let's take a look at opportunities for us to do arbitrage over here. And this is going to be fractions of a penny, but these fractions of a penny add up very, very quickly. And I already see it. Okay, take a look at Bybit, 2977. And now let's take a look at, where was it? KuCoin, 2968. What does this mean? Okay. What this means is that if I was to sell SAN at 2977 on Bybit, and I was to buy SAN on 2968, that I have a 0.0009, okay, 0.0009 profit because of the difference in price. And I'm able to do this in these exchanges very, very quickly. Now, what does this mean? I know you're like, well, David, that's a fraction of a penny, 0.0009. Yes, and I have my calculator out right now, ladies and gentlemen, so I can do this. But what happens when you are doing this and you bought 100,000 coins? 100,000 coins, okay? Well, that means you made $90 on that trade. Completely risk-free. You bought 10,000 coins on one exchange and you sold 10,000 coins on the other exchange, but this requires a whole bunch of money to do it. Why do I say that? Because the price of Sandbox is 0.2982, so 100,000 coins is going to run you $29,820. So when $28,920. So when I take a look at that, that creates about a 0.3% increase in price, increase in gains. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but the high frequency orders of this whole entire thing is what allows this to actually work in our favor. You need to understand that arbitrage only works when you are doing it over and over and over and over again. If I have $30,000 in each of these exchanges, and I know that every single time, anytime that I want to, I could create $90 out of thin air. The question is, how many times would you want to create money out of thin air? And I think that the answer for all of us would be as many times as humanly possible. And that's exactly what Bedankt is allowing us to do using their software and trading for us in the background, okay? So let's get back to the presentation so we understand what's going on. The vision is to transform the language of investment and trading by bringing artificial intelligence and secure, transparent, high yield solutions to investors with human intelligence. And that is the important part, with human intelligence, because I always say that that technology is great. It works great until it doesn't. And then when it doesn't, you really need human eyeballs on it in order to fix it. And artificial intelligence, although we have several, okay, years of AI training in the background, what I can let you know is that it's still very new, and having human interaction becomes incredibly important. We pride ourselves on our core values, which is innovation, integrity, excellence, and collaboration. And then we help you earn by an incredible 4-pathway earning system. Okay, there are several things that are still in development right now for this pathway earning system, but I'm going to go over the most important ones. And this one right here is the most important by far. It is the bot that you decide to purchase. Now, you can get started with as little as $300. And what does that mean? You're going to earn 1.2% every single day. So, what does that look like, guys? You put in $300 and you are earning $3.60 every single day. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, every single day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Let me be very clear, okay? I know that doesn't sound like a lot, and for most people it isn't, but understand that there's certain countries in the world where an extra $3 a day is a very, very big deal. 1.2% a day is that's about as much as some banks are offering a year, and you are earning that every single day. Now, when you go ahead and you get to the $7,000 mark for a deposit, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be earning 1.6% a day. And what does that look like? Okay, just so I get the numbers right, I'm going to use my handy duty calculator. It means that you are going to be earning $112 a day. $7,000 in, and you are earning $112 a day. Why is that important? Well, there are certain people right now actually working minimum wage to make less than $100 a day. And if you sit there and you put in $7,000, ladies and gentlemen, I'm letting you know that you could earn $112 a day. That is life-changing income for some people. Okay, I'm not telling you how it is that you should get this money, but I know I know that you know there are a lot of different investment vehicles and loan vehicles out there, and for $7,000, the monthly payment it would be anywhere from $70 to $100 a month. Imagine having $100 payment to have $7,000 in, but then all of a sudden you're making more than $100 a day. And then we have the DaemonX Bulk box, which is 18,000 or more, and you are earning 2% a day. Now, what does 2% a day look like on $18,000? That's $360 a day. That works out to $1,800 a week. Let me make sure yeah, $1,800 a week, 10% a week. Let me be clear, that is some people's monthly income being earned weekly. And on top of that, you're going to get a few other things that go on. You're going to get some Bedankt points, and these Bedankt points will eventually be used to get our Bedankt token. And our withdrawals are processed 2 times a week, every Tuesday and Friday. And I know for a fact that these withdrawals are processed instantaneously and automatically, that there's not someone pressing the button, that literally you request it, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, this money comes out and hits your wallet without fail. Okay? Each one of these investments runs for 2 years straight, and you could take out your principal after a certain amount of time, 20, 35, or 40 days, respectfully, depending on how much you put in. Now, for those of us that want to build, the referral program is phenomenal. You earn based on the amount of money that anyone that you bring to the table puts in. If you, for anyone that you personally refer, you're going to earn 5% and 5,000 Bedankt points for every single referral that you bring in. So if you have someone that puts in $10,000, you're going to make a $500 commission on level 2. It's 3% and 3,000 Bedankt points. Level 3 is 2% and 2,000. Level 4 is 1.5 and 1,500. And then level 5 is 1% and 1,000 Bedankt points. And then last but not least is level 6, which is 0.5% and 500 Bedankt points. Now, there are other ways to earn, and I typically go over these, but instead of doing that, I kind of want to log into the back office. I want to show you what's going on, and let you take this for a spin. And if you are not already a part of Bedankt, I highly suggest that you go ahead, you create a free account, and go ahead and put some money in and see what it looks like. Okay, so Full disclosure, for leaders, they have some bonus structures and all that other stuff. I'm not going over that today. Right now, my team deposit is just over $40,000. That's $40,000 that has come through the ranks. As you see, it varies a little bit, based on the market, how much you're making. But for the most part, it's pretty stable because it tops out. And as long as the bots make more than the maximum amount, you're going to go ahead and see it. So, what does this look like? Okay. Literally every single day, you know, making about $500, $500, cool. And then all of a sudden, you know, May 31st was a low earning day. All of a sudden, it jumps up to just over $1,000. Well, there was some affiliate commissions over there, and then it scoops down. Um, and you're going to see this variation that happens time and time again, just because the markets are the markets, but there is a maximum that you could earn every single day. Right now, when I go into my dashboard, I want you to see what's going on. I have about $806 that could be withdrawn right now. I have my overall earnings are $21,321.90, and I have $37,500 working for me, which literally means that I am getting very, very close to playing with the house money. And when I talk with people, I always let them know, you know, you want to get to playing with the house money as quickly as possible. I want to go ahead and go through. Let's go to my bots. You're going to see exactly what this looks like. Okay. Right now, this was a deal that was given to me from the company. I'm letting you know that right now. There are certain requirements for you to be able to get a deal account. If you think that you meet them, that you are a leader and you could drive high volume into the company, we can have a conversation about that. Now, in terms of direct investment, there 12,500 is put in, and that got activated this past Friday, and already it has made me $524.33. Now, when I go, you are able to top up, which means, literally, if I wanted to top up, I could go over here and then I could select how much money I want to put in and click top up, and it would add it to the bot. Please note that that does take your bot offline for 12 hours. So I try to make sure that I do this on a Saturday just to make sure that, it's when everything is not running. Now, rolling over, what does that look like? Rolling over is when you want to roll over one bot into the higher bot, right? Um, and then you are able to sit there and add extra money and roll over. Say if you are crossing over the $18,000 necessary, well, you are able to roll over your bot into the higher earnings when you go ahead and do that. Now, withdrawing is simple. Okay, right now there are only three different ways to withdraw: USDT, TRC20, ERC20, and Cardano. You go here, you put in your wallet address. Very, very simple to go ahead and do that. Let me see. I want to see wallet. Let's see. Okay. Now, over here in the wallets, you are going to see everything that you want to see. You're going to see the profit for every single day, right? It's going to be deposited in. And then when I want to go to my withdrawal, because I just processed the withdrawal over here, okay, $1,053 completed. This hit my wallet. I was trying to see whether or not there was a entry for this that I could go ahead and show on the blockchain, but there's not, But USDT, TRC, ERC20, and this hit my account today. So I'm super, super excited, that this hit my account without an issue. And then you have a cashback bonus. And this is one of the ways to earn, right? And the cashback bonus is as you begin to hit certain numbers, you get a little bit of what you call it of cashback. It turns into a lot though, because you end up and I could go through all this and through Oh, look at that. I'm sorry. I'm literally learning how all these things are calculated, the weekly revenue and the weekly bonuses. So I'm going to come back and probably cover this more in depth on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, just so that we could go through. Um, but withdrawing is simple, depositing is simple. I want to go through the deposit process. Literally, you have multiple ways to deposit. You go ahead and pick your coin and you just go ahead and deposit. Very, very simple. And then in terms of the DaemonX bots, let's go to trading bots. Okay. All this is over here. You see everything that's going on. And then when I go to dashboards, there are a few things that I want to go over. Okay. PBR. This is the ability for you to earn money for doing certain tasks, right? Trading intelligence contribution, right? Tasks contribute valuable market data analysis to help improve DaemonX's AI driven trading strategies. What does this look like personally? If I am in any groups that provide alpha, okay, meaning I know coins that are about to pop very, very good, I would go ahead, create a PDF, and I will click submit report file. I choose the file, submit it. If it gets approved, you will see that I'm going to earn $70 and 1,000 points per piece of approved content. Now let's go to the platform and the community PBR. Content creation, what is that? Write and publish articles, okay? Educational tutorials, social media engagement, right? Develop short, engaging videos on YouTube or TikTok. Awesome. Ways for us to make money $100 per 1,000 Bedankt points. Imagine creating a TikTok video. Imagine it getting traction on TikTok and it adding to your Bedankt revenue. Plus, you are earning money from Bedankt to go ahead and make that video. Market research and insights. There is so much here that is valuable, guys, that you should go ahead and just be able to take it for a spin and figure out what's going on. And then, okay, you will see I have 15,000 Bedankt points, right? 15,000 Bedankt points. 15,000 Bedankt points equals $150, okay? So if I ever wanted to swap my Bedankt points, I could do that. Now I'm not doing that. And why is that? Because I'm waiting for the Bedankt token, which is coming soon. And I know that, Bedankt is going to allow me to go ahead and swap my points for the token later on. So, ladies and gentlemen, truly and honestly, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that any investment is without risk. Of course, there's risk, right? If you are not pushing the button to trade, then you don't know just how risky things can be. But what I highly suggest is minimally. I don't care if you come in for the minimum for 300. Put in the minimum, take it for a spin, and as your confidence begins to raise in Bedankt, then you decide whether or not you want to put in bigger money. I personally think that Bedankt is going to revolutionize the way that trading is done, cryptocurrency investments are done, because I know the people behind it, and I also know that the people behind it have the capacity to do some really great things. Today's Tuesday night. It is June 10th. It is late here on the East Coast, and I know that for a lot of us, this is going to be the last thing that we do. And I just wanted to take the time right now and say thank you so much for spending your time with me. And obviously, get back to the person that invited you here. Get your questions answered. Create an account. And like I said, it doesn't need to be big money to start, but put in a little bit, check it out. And as you get confident, put in more. And I think that's the best way to deal with any investment. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great night on purpose. And I will see you on Thursday night and go through the whole back office again. God bless you guys. Bye.